Hello and welcome to the Nerd Card. I'm Chuck.
I'm Esteban.
And today we're talking about Danny Boyle's 28 Days Later.
Great film. Danny Boyle did a wonderful thing for the zombie genre.
Absolutely. So this came out in 2002, and as Esteban was saying, Danny Boyle's initial contribution is the rage zombie, the fast, the infected. That's not the living undead, but rather an infected host that is just, in this movie, filled with rage and very fast.
And very strong, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So before this, they had the Romero zombie. He was slow, plodding,
Coming to
arms
get you,
out.
Barbara.
Yeah, Boris Karloff, arms out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And now it's with this, the advent of this movie, and 28 Days Later, you have the fast zombie, which then was later doubled down on by Zack Snyder in his remake of George Romero's Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, with Jake
which to me,
Weber.
Dawn of the Dead is the best zombie film ever made to this day, the original from Romero.
Right.
But in Snyder's remake, he went the speed zombie route
Yes.
that was made popular by 28 Days Later. And 28 Days Later not only made that popular, but also made Cillian Murphy popular.
Yeah, brought him into the world of film. And, let's face it, Cillian Murphy would have done great
Regardless
of this film, but it really set the stage for his career.
Cillian Murphy, you guys may know more from as the Scarecrow in the Dark Knight series of films, and Peaky Blinders,
yes,
which he's known very, very widely for. But this is our first real look at him as a leading man.
Yeah, he did a great job as Jim.
And he did do a great job as Jim. Go on.
No, please.
No, so he did a great job as Jim. Really, as the movie goes, the character of Jim really evolves as this guy who takes control and really saves the day at the end. But you go from this total desolation at the beginning with Jim, right?
Yeah, really strange to see London so empty.
Yeah,
just desolate, papers everywhere, just no people.
Almost a foreshadow of what happened with the pandemic a couple of years ago, because I remember seeing shots of London right when they had in total lockdown in Great Britain.
Yeah.
And it looked like, I remember thinking to myself, oh, it's like 28 days later out there.
Yeah, same with China. Yep.
Yeah, and so, but this movie, you really feel that he wakes up in a hospital bed, and he's just like, no one's around, and so he gets out and he's wandering around, and you just see nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. And so many trend setting in this film of things like that. You have the waking up in a hospital bed and everyone's gone, The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead, Rick, right?
With Rick wakes up and no one's around and he's wondering what's going on.
Except Rick wasn't naked.
No, he wasn't. And, Cillian Murphy doesn't have coral.
Coral.
But yes, we do get some gratuitous front naked shots of Cillian Murphy, so girls out there, have fun with that, or guys who like that too. Yeah, whoever, if you like that, it's there for you. So you get gratuitous nudity shots of Cillian Murphy, but he wakes up and he's in the hospital and there's no one there. He starts drinking pop because he's, he hasn't been.
He does what any one of us would do in that situation.
Right, and you're really searching, like, what the hell is going on?
Right, exactly.
And one of the things I feel every time I watch that film, and we rewatched it in preparation for this video, one thing Danny Boyle does really well in this film, and most of his films, but in everyone that I can think of off the top of my head is big hitters, Trainspotting, Slumdog Millionaire, Sunshine. If you haven't seen Sunshine, go see Sunshine or go rent it. Danny Boyle really uses music to portray the feeling and emotion and the tone of the film.
Yes,
and he does that masterfully.
It's almost like it's another character.
Yeah,
right?
It is 100%. And that really gets you in the real desolation of this movie as Jim progresses. Even after he finds people, the shots when they're walking the streets of London, walking the rail, just nothing.
Yeah, no people, no trains, no lights, and then they spot those Christmas lights in that high rise, right?
Brandon Gleeson,
yes,
and his daughter, and it's finally some hope, right?
A little bit,
because the tone of the film is very bleak too. The color palette, it's all very bleak. Danny Boyle is using all of his tools to really pull you into that world of desolation. I know I keep saying the word desolation, of apocalypse, of being the only ones left alive, and what's the future, what happened
Are we the only ones?
Are
left,
we the only
right?
ones? You know, and it's movie was shot on film, so you know it's made in 2002, so it has a different texture than like a movie might today. But I think if Danny Boyle made this movie today, he'd shoot it the same way,
Probably.
because to get that effect, you know, you don't want a crispy 4K digital image
No.
for this kind of a movie. It wouldn't have the same effect. So that he really uses his medium to his advantage.
Yeah, well, he's a master. And
He is a master.
This is without a doubt one of his best films.
Oh, absolutely. It's the first movie where I looked at for Danny Boyle that I looked at where the director was, and then I went and watched like Trainspotting, which is another masterwork of his, completely different kind of movie.
No.
But another masterwork of his. But he likes to reuse different actors in his films, like any director that's, we've talked about before, James Cameron. He used Bill Paxton and everything. Cillian Murphy's in several of his movies. He does that. Also, Danny Boyle does.
Yes.
So it's very cool to see this director in different genres and how he uses the medium and try to pick up on the cues you get from different films from him. I would be remiss to not mention the Ninth Doctor. Phil would be really mad at me if I didn't mention that Chris Eccleston was in this movie, The Ninth Doctor. I'm always traveling with a banana, not so much in this film. But it's anytime I see one of the doctors in a film and they're a villain, it's strange for me. Now, in that vein, you look at they've all done it. Chris Eccleston in this movie. Matt Smith is in House of the Dragon as Daemon Targaryen, was a quasi-villain. David Tennant, my favorite doctor, is the Purple Man in Jessica Jones.
Yes.
And he's fantastic.
Oh, he's phenomenal
as the Purple Man.
Yes, he is.
So whenever you see the Doctor, a bubbly, nice character as a villainous kind of character, it always throws me for a loop. And this one's no different. So 28 Days Later, classic zombie film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's, like I say, zombie film. It's kind of borderline there, but we'd still call it a zombie movie.
I would.
Anything else, Esteban?
No, I'm good.
Thanks for watching The Nerd Card. If you like this content, please remember to like and subscribe and hit notifications so that you get notified of every new video that we have.
And do not forget, you can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff, and especially thenerdcard.com. And with that, we will say, what's on your nerd card?